heard his first Beatles song. Love Me Do, I think it was, and from there it didn't take him long. Got himself a guitar, used to play every night. Now he's in a rock and roll outfit, and everything's alright. Don't you know?
Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to play a rhythm guitar part of Shooting Star by Paul Rodgers from Bad Company. And this was kindly requested and supported by Vernon, so big thanks goes out to him for the support. And just want to mention that this version, that particular version that I'm going to show you in this video is from Paul Rodgers' solo performance that he did in Manchester, I believe, a few years back. It's pretty much the same as the Bad Companies in regards to the song structure, chord progressions and stuff like that, but you know, because it was played by another guitarist, there are some differences in approach, you know, how to play certain chords and fills and stuff like that. But you know, it's pretty much the same as the Bad Companies. Of course, also the solo is different and the outro. And in this lesson I'm going to show you how to play the rhythm parts. If you'd like to learn the solo and the outro, so the lead guitar, you can get the full lesson at GuitarForce.com. You can find the link in the description box down below. And with the download you're going to be getting also all of the tabs, the backing track, and also the playthrough, which I'm going to try and post to my other channel. If YouTube allows it, you can find the link in the description box down below. Or you can get just the tabs and the backing track. By the way, the backing track is not mine. I found it on the internet, so it's free. But you know, if you get the full package, the full lesson, you know, it's going to be included there as well. And the tabs and the backing track are also going to be available on my Patreon page. So check that link out if you need the tabs and the backing track. As far as the tuning, we're going to be in standard tuning, and for the sound I was using 2 guitar presets for the rhythm guitar and for the lead guitar. So I was using the as usual the VST plugin guitar rig. So now I'm gonna play you my low E string so you can tune up, and while you are tuning up I'm gonna show you the pictures of the presets that I was using for this lesson. Alright, here we go. So as usual we're going to break up the song into parts. We're going to start off with the intro. First I'm going to play through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so here what we have is basically we have 3 chords, A, E and D, and we play these kind of phrases. So based off of the A chord right here on the 14th fret, we do this hammer on. So it's essentially it's like you are hammering on from the A chord onto the added couple of intervals, so the 6th interval and the 4th, so it becomes like a 6 sus 4. And this was very common used in music in 70s and 80s, and all the time they would use that. So what we have here is hammering onto the D string on the 16th fret, and also on the B string 15th fret. And it's a grace note, meaning that you play a fast hammer on. So we have this. Then we move down to the E and we do the same thing here. So on the 7th fret, and then we hammer onto the 8th and it's a 10 and 11 on the D string. And then we have, so here just based off of the D chord, we have another grace note, double stops, but this time it's just 2 strings, so it's on the G and the D strings from 7th to 9th fret, and you're hammering only on the D string, then back to the double stop, then we go down to the A string 10th fret, and then we have again grace note here on the A and D strings, but we're hammering on the A string only. So it's, and then we have in the end, so hammer on 7 to 9 on the A string, and then picking a couple of times the D and the G strings on the 7th fret. And then we repeat again the whole thing, so it's. Alright, so after that we go into the verses, and throughout the verses we have a chord progression going on. So let me just quickly talk about the chords. So we start off with the A, then we have E, then we have G, then we have A. And in the end again we do as we did here, but we do it an octave lower. But I'll get into details in a minute. So that's the chord progression: A, E for 1 bar, so we play each of the chords for 2 beats. Then we have G and A also for 1 bar, so again each of the chords for 2 beats. Alright, so that's the chord progression, and it's pretty straightforward. So let me just play through couple of times the riffs, and then we'll get into the details. So it goes something like this. Alright, so as you can see, it's nothing too complicated here. Basically the picking pattern is, it's totally up to you how you want to play it. So what we have here is we're playing the chords, but we're kind of arpeggiating them and also hitting the strings, let them ring out, and doing all sorts of rhythmical patterns here. There is no specific rhythmical pattern that we play here, so it's totally up to you how you want to approach it. But in a nutshell, that's how it goes. So we start off with an A. So as you can see, I'm kind of laying out the chord and then adding a couple of quick hits. There are some muted strings in there before you change to the next chord, so it's kind of the same thing. So going for the A, from the A we go to E, then we go to G. And then in the end, when we get to, from the G, when we get to the A, hit the chord, then play the hammer on the grace note of these 2 notes, adding to that chord, then hit again, and then going back to the beginning of the chord progression again. And again, you play just, you can just hit the chord, let it ring out, then go to, with the little rests in between and stuff like that. There are a couple of different embellishments here, so especially on the A chord. So after in the end of the chord progression, after you've played the So right here we do this the first time. The first 2 times he plays this with the grace note, and then the third time he plays. So this is like playing a sus2, and then he goes back to the major chord. So what we have here is you're just arpeggiating the chord. So basically you're fretting the sus2, and you are arpeggiating it in the specific rhythm, so it goes like this. And then once you get to the high E string and then back to the B, you play the open B and you hammer onto the second fret, so thus making it a major chord. But that's the lick here that we play. And then you pick the chord a couple more times, and then it goes back to the chord progression. So that's pretty much it for the first verse. So two different endings here. So that's the first one, adding these notes. And then we have the embellishment. And then in the end he just hits the A chord, lets it ring out. Then we have a couple chords, sort of like a bridge between the first verse and the second. And actually we're going to be using that part a lot in the song. So it's in the end we have. So it's an E chord, and also you add a little bit more overdrive to get more thicker sound and overdriven sound. So you hit E, let it ring out, then he plays. So this is a D, like a D power chord, sorry, but with an added A in the bass. So that's why it sounds like this. And then you are back to the E, so it's. Okay, and then we go back to playing verse number 2. So basically repeating again the same thing. And then again we have, and then after that we go into the next part. Alright, so the next part is the chorus, and it's very simple, so let me first play it through, then we're gonna break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so the chorus, the first couple of bars start off with just chords. So the first chord that we have is a D power chord, and then he adds the open high E string, which makes it a D sus2. And again, the rhythmical pattern here is whatever you want to play. He kind of hits the chord and arpeggiates a little bit. Then we go to the A chord. Again, also if you want to, you can embellish it a little bit. So basically it's an A power chord, A major chord, but you can play it also as an A sus2, just playing that B string open if you want to. And then we have again the transitioning part, which is so E to D with an A in the bass, and then back to E, and that's the first ending. And then again we are back to the D chord, A, and the second ending alternate is going to be G for the whole bar. Then we go to D with an A in the bass. And then again the transition in part, E to D to E. Alright, and during this part also he's using more overdriven guitar, but that's pretty much it for the chorus, nothing too complicated. After that we go into the next verse, and again it's pretty much the same as we did earlier, but we do have a couple of different licks here and there. So First let me play it through, then we're gonna break down the licks. So it goes like this. Alright, so here we have, like I said, two different licks thrown in. So in the beginning we go as it is in the first couple of verses. So A again, E, G, and then we have. So here after the G chord, in place of A, we play this lick. So it's basically we're playing high E and the B strings on the 5th fret. So we start with these two notes, then we have a bend. So the bend is you're fretting the B string on the 5th fret and you're bending the G string. And the 4th fret you're bending it up. Then you play 2nd fret and then again gradual bend on the 4th fret. But at this, you are doing it at the same time as the fretting the B string, like that. So it's like a country lick. So it's. Let me do it one more time, like that, and then you continue with the rest of the progression. So again, E, G, and then here. So after the G, go into the A, you play. So 2 times the A string open. 2nd time you hammer onto the 2nd fret, and then on the D string you have a slide from the 2nd fret to the 4th, and then you play this added couple of notes that we did, but you are playing the chord right away, and then back to the A chord. So all together, slowly, like that. One more time. And then the rest is pretty much the same as we did earlier. So E, G, A, again E, G, and as you can see here, again I'm switching up a little bit the rhythmical side of things. So for example, when you go to the G chord, so it's, you're just arpeggiating the chord in a specific rhythm, right? And you can do that on A, on E, on G, you know, just for variation like that. So these are the 2 different licks that we did, and right, and then in the end again we have the transitioning part, E to D to E again, and then after that we go into the next chorus, which is exactly the same as we did during the first chorus. So exact same pattern and exact same chord progression. So D, A, and then repeat again. And then in the end, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here, but in the end, the 2nd time you go to G, and then D, and then again E, D, E. Alright, so exactly the same way as we did the first chorus. Alright, so these are pretty much the main parts of the song. So we have the intro, then we have the verses and the choruses with the transitioning parts, and these parts are just, these sections are repeated throughout the song. So they're pretty much the same in every in every verse, in every chorus, and even after the solo. So I'm not going to be concentrating more on them. We'll just go right into the solo, and then I'll show you the outro part as well. Alright guys, that was it for this lesson. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to continue learning the entire song, the lead guitar, check out the link in the description box down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.